Okay.
You just see live. When you see live, just get started because I'll be
Oh, right
looking.
now.
Yeah, look at the Zoom.
Right now.
Yes.
Okay. So, welcome to Breakthrough with Jeff. This is a place where we live life with zero limits. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are. It is so wonderful to be here again to learn from our master life coach, Jeff. Jeff, how are you doing?
I'm excited about this, Mary. Thank you so much. Happy to
Can you
see you.
Happy to see you, please. Happy to see you as well. Can you please share with everyone where are you joining us from today, given that we have people from across the continents and you're a
Yes.
globetrotter as well?
Well, so from Malindi, Kenya, that's where I am right now. From Malindi, the
Okay,
coastal
good.
region. Yeah.
The coastal region of Kenya.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I am glad to join you all the way from Texas in the US. It is
Oh.
about 11:16 a.m. here, Central Time. So as you're getting ready for the night, we are just beginning, heading towards the afternoon. So I'm excited to be here with you. Jeff,
Fantastic.
once again, what an honor it is to have you share your wisdom, your knowledge, your counsel to all of us. And as we kick back on the Breakthrough Show with you, I think the best place to start is really helping us all to think through how to live life with zero limits, right? So I want to set the stage for all of us, right? Let's talk through what does it mean to live life with zero limits, then we can delve into that.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much, Mary. And as I do that, I'm still sharing with more people as they come in. And this is so crucial. And what a brilliant question, Mary, that you're asking. Because as human beings, we find ourselves limited by so many things that we find on our journey of growth as we grow up. In fact, from 4 years of age, we begin to collect all these stories of limitation. And we begin to put boundaries and put ceilings on what is possible for us. And so zero limits, it's about breaking those limitations. And they are different, they are diverse, they are from different sources. The limitations that come as a result of our interaction with other people. Okay, we tend to get these emotional wounds that we carry. You know, people, every emotion that is not expressed actually is stored in our body, and somehow we bleed within. So, and of course, we live, Mary, we live in a generation where expressing your emotion and really healing is seen as weakness. So what do we do from 4 years of age is to know to store this emotion inside of us. We store them, we store the emotions. And especially for us men, we don't cry. That's what we say, men don't cry. But you see, the emotions you don't express through tears, they end up being stored as pain that bleed in your body. And that's how people are getting all these permanent headaches. They are getting all these painful, sicknesses that you cannot explain because of the body-mind connection. We are connected. So our bodies are telling us we have a lot to break through. And so when you make an assessment, and coaching begins with an assessment, making an assessment, an honest assessment, Mary, where you ask yourself, okay, where am I in my life? And then you are able to boldly face yourself and really work on these areas of healing it's a cry for help. In fact, some of these sicknesses like, permanent headaches, gut issues, okay, which is like Your gut is like your second brain. It's telling you something.
Yeah.
Some of us, we are
Yeah.
always, the body is communicating to you and telling you there's something blocking you from being your best version of you. Heal, heal, heal. And these limitations are what we are breaking through. I created a framework that helps people break through and turn around their situation into a powerful story. And there's none of us that is in such a bad place that they cannot turn things around. It's a decision.
Yeah. And you know what I'm hoping we can do, Jeff, and you've mentioned about a framework, but here I am, and I'm considering that now I am ready to break through and live my life with zero limits. I have understood that there's some trauma, there's some things that have been holding me back. Where do I start, right? How do I know? Is it my gut? Is it my emotions? Like, where do I really start?
Yes. So the first thing is A. A stands for assessment. So we got to start from a place of assessment where we can get an awareness of where am I, and look at different areas of life and see what's not working. Where am I stuck? And this is where a professional conversation helps, because you cannot see different from the same glasses that you've always looked at your life. You will see it the same. You see the same way. And so we need a third party, someone that is looking through different glasses to look into our lives and actually tell us what they are seeing. And they can help us to heal. And most of the time I advise people, don't call your friends, because we live in a society where our friends don't tell us the truth because they fear to hurt us. They fear to, they don't know what is going to hurt us, what is going to be, painful to us. And so what we do is we always want to watch and see how far we can, but with a professional, get professional help. Begin by assessment. Okay, so after you have an assessment, then you make a decision, because you can have assessment and you are aware, okay, this is what I'm going through. People talk about generational trauma. There are generational trauma, Mary, that has been passed on through generations. You see, the demons of your father, you're going through the same demons, even though you're better educated, you have more money, you have better experiences, but they're the same demons. Demons do not get in. And those generational wounds and trauma, they need a curse breaker. They need that person that says the limits stop here. They stop here. Whether it's finances, it's financial limit, it's an emotional limit, it's a limit to leadership, it's a limit to whatever, it stops here. Now, how does that happen? First of all, the assessment, awareness, and then decision. You got to decide. Decision equals destiny. Tony Robbins says this all the time. We make
Jeff,
decisions.
I want to hold that thought just for a quick second as we get into decisions, right? You say assessment, but assessment from who? You clearly say not our friends, right? Is this a psychiatrist? Is this a therapist? So that as we leave that point to go to decision, we know who we can go to for assessment.
Good question. So any of those professionals will help you. A therapist to listen. Those are trained professionals, someone who is being trained to listen to people and make distinctions on some of these issues. And they will clearly, let you know that this is coming from what is the root cause of this, because it's always good to find the root cause of what you're going through. So a psychologist, a life coach, a counselor, all these people will help you, but make sure is a professional. Sometimes you want to come out of the people that know you to someone that is neutral, that can help you make an intervention.
Okay. onto decision, and I'm sorry that I cut your train of thought there, because I feel like you're going in a very great direction. I hope you can remember what you were about to say, but you said talking about taking a decision, and you mentioned something to do with Tony Robbins and what he says on the same, and I think that's where you're going.
Yes. Tony Robbins says all the time, and this is what he says. He says decisions equals destiny. And what does that mean? Exactly. It means that the decisions we are making, the quality of our decisions we are making are actually defining our destiny. So you're defining your destiny by your decisions. It's not environment. I know there's a lot of study and sometimes a misunderstanding on, does environment equal destiny? It doesn't. Decision equals destiny, not environment. Environment has got impact and influence, but the person makes decision at some point. And this is what I tell my clients, that when you are a child, is understandable for you to be impacted by environment. But when you are 18 years old, what we don't learn in schools, and we need to teach this, is personal responsibility. That now I'm a grown-up, I can decide my destiny. I can actually decide how my life is going to be. I'm not a child anymore. So you realize, Mary, I could be 42, but still living my 5-year-old trauma. I mean, how is that possible? I'm no longer the little boy that was told, shut up. I'm no longer the little girl that was told this, you not make it, you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not. I'm no longer that. How come many, many, many years later, I am still held by the limits of what someone said to me? It's because we've not come to the second, and you may know, you may have the awareness. In fact, the brain is very interesting, and this is something I'm very passionate about, how the mind works. Because the mind, if you actually just do a simple meditation technique, the mind, you can take someone through to a time where they can remember. And because this information is stored in your brain, it's stored there. They know what happened, the details and all that. But then that's not important. That is not the breakthrough. The breakthrough is the decision. What do you decide now? Oh, I didn't have a parent. Okay, now you can parent yourself. Oh, I didn't have, do you know, after you are 18, you can decide how you're going to, the rest of your life is going to be. But when you're a child, we are in coaching, we look for a family member who is sober and can actually be accountable to that child. But for someone who is over 18, take back your life. Take back your life. Take back your power. So through decision and also through understanding yourself, because if you don't understand yourself, you don't understand how the mind works, you don't understand you're in prison, you never get out.
Well, when I think about decision, I think decision also translates to action, right?
Yes.
You've said that we would go to seek professional help for assessment. Following their assessment, we would make decisions. But even if we make a decision and we're not familiar on the action to take, it still doesn't translate into anything. That's what I think. Because you can say, I'm going to wake up.
Is a part. Yeah, thank you, Mary. It's part of the intervention. So the professional intervention includes all that, the awareness, and then the decision, and then there's something we call assignment or homework or action. Any session that does not have action is incomplete. So you want to bring, when you go for a coaching session, you're going to see a coach, a therapist. You want to find, ask, what is the action from here? What action can I take from here? And that needs to come from you if you've come, you've risen to that place of making the decision.
Yeah. So then in that case, okay, so it looks like my understanding therefore is that through that assessment, that process is where helps you also to not only assess and understand where you are, but also comes up with like an action that can help you translate into how to change, and how to change is based on your decision, right?
Yes.
So let's assume one is actually on a path of action, right? And you can always want to take this action, but there are these habits that we are stuck in, right? Because there has to be a mindset change, right? There is a decision, there is the action that you're aware, but how do you step into this new dimension if you've not been doing it, and how do you sustain it?
Yeah. So in the setting of the session, let's say you're working with our coach and they are helping you, number one, to take the actions and to be clear on what actions do I take for me to turn things around. Now, my belief is that the action needs to come from, number one, your highest intention. Like, it should be so clear, it should be aligned with your purpose, it should be aligned with your self-identity. The person you must be is not just any action, is inspired action that is coming from the highest version of you. What is the highest version of Jeff? What would the highest version of me do in this situation? And a professional is able to take you to that space. You see, the coaching creates a space for transformation. And that space is helping the client to get to a place where they can get clarity on these decisions that they need to take. And then, of course, knowing what decision to take is not enough. You have to be habitually consistent, continuously take the same action over and over again. Not because you feel like it, because you are creating a new pathway in your mind that never existed. You see, Mary, the way the brain or the mind works is, the mind works with what it knows as familiar. So whatever you're telling the client to do, the new habits, they are not familiar.
Yeah.
They are unfamiliar. And this is where the challenge comes, when they are taking unfamiliar path and there's no consistency. Because what brings the mind to the place of making something familiar is actually repetition. It's consistency. Consistency. How did you create the habits that you don't like, the habits that you hate, the ones that you like to break? Consistency. You've been in fact, you just turn it around. The same practice, now use it on empowering habits.
Yeah. And I think Jeff, you know what, I always feel like there's so many people who really, really do want to transform their life, who really, really have made a decision, but it's just breaking that habit and maintaining a consistent path, right? So I know this is going into a bit of psychology, but I don't know if we want to talk about habits as well, right? Because if we think about zero limits, in order to step into that, you really have to be able to really build new habits to break zero limits, right? I don't know, what is the psychology of ensuring we are consistent, right? Is it creating a schedule, doing something at the same time? Like, just from your own experience as you've gone through life and just trying to acquire new habits, what have you done so that as we continue, we can also empower our listeners to be able to know, okay, this is what I can do to step into this new habit, to follow this action plan as I've made this decision?
Thank you, Mary. Clarity is power. So when you're clear on
I love that tweet moment. Clarity is power. I love it.
Clarity is power.
That's true.
But then it's clarity of who am I being in this situation? So the coaching session is helping the client to actually be clear on who they are. We don't just act as we would want to act. We act as we are. And so the person you are, that is what is showing up through your habits.
Let me repeat that. We don't act as who we want. We act as we are.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Elaborate.
So the habits are actually displaying my identity. And I may not agree. I may not agree, by the way, with that, oh, that's who I am. But look, how do we know who I am? Is actually
the habits.
Not by their fruits, it's habits. And so, yeah, what the coach is doing is to help the client to visualize the new version of
the identity. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, anchor that so much in me that I totally now habits become natural when identity is here.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a really good one. Sorry, I'm still, it's like it's here, but then it's going here, and then it's going here. That's why I keep on repeating.
Right here.
I want to emphasize on that, right? Because I feel like it's very key. When you have clarity, you're able to really visualize, okay, this is the kind of person that I want to become. And when you visualize this is the kind of person I want to become, then you're able to see the kind of habits that kind of person who I want to become should be having. And you're able to evaluate that from who you are today and see the gaps and then realize, okay, I want to be this person. I need to change this habit that I'm doing today.
Yes, period.
Magnificent.
You got it. Breakthrough right
Magnificent. There. That's a breakthrough moment right there.
That is a breakthrough, because once you're clear, and by the way, Mary, this is so huge, because this is the distinction between someone that will create a life by their terms and someone that lives by the terms of society, by the terms of environment, by the terms of their mistakes. Once you know who you are, and that's why I sometimes, forgive myself, because I know that if I find myself in doing things that I thought I should not be doing, the impact there, the decision there is to remember who I am. So remember, oh, this is not me. This is not who I am. And once you make that decision, that's a decision, okay? Because there are people who act a certain way and they just continue, and they are not coming to that awareness of, this is not who I am. This is not who I am. But then knowing this is not who you are is not the end. You need to know then who are you? Then who are you in this situation? And that's what I was talking about, the highest intention. You live from that place of intention. By the way, Mary, in breakthrough intervention coaching, I have, like I said, I have a framework, and actually it's a book on that. We live from that place of intention. So the goal is to help the client to live from that place of intention consistently. That's the goal. So the first thing is the awakening, to know, okay, what is the highest intention? What's my highest intention in life? What people call life purpose. Because it's coming from your identity. This is who I am. And it does not mean that, Mary, you're going to be perfect. That's not the goal. Perfection is not a goal. It means that you always go back to your true north. You always go back, meaning there are times that you're going to go, is actually the beauty of life. The beauty of life is not a straight line. It's up and down, up and down. But you got to know when you're down, what is your up? If you don't know, you don't know. You stay down. So people think
because you have no up.
There's no up.
It's so not clear. Yeah.
If there's no up, you stay down, Mary, isn't it? So, but when you know, so it's not about perfection, because that's another enemy. If you think of it as perfection, no, it's not perfection. It's actually awareness. This is my up, and this is my true north. I can always come there. And so my life is like this. Sometimes I go down, sometimes it's not a straight line. Okay, there are some things I've really mastered. Like what? For instance, let's say being shy on screen. Okay, so I've really mastered that, because it used to be something that I'll be confident, and then go down, confident, go down. But then with practice, you master something, it becomes consistent, it becomes now permanent. And then you go to something else, consistently practice, make it permanent. But people that master are not people that aim for perfection. There are people that understand that, this is my desire, this is my true north, I'll always, and I have the power to go there anytime. But it doesn't mean I'll remain there. There's no one who remains there all the time. You're going to get people who, tap on your energy the wrong way, people that just prick your ego and shake you, especially people you love. You are going to get that. There is no perfection in this world, and you're going to feel down, and then now you can go up. Yeah.
And I want to speak about that whole down up frequency, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there can be a time that you're down,
yeah,
and your mind is so preoccupied by whatever is keeping you down that there's no point to evaluate to get yourself up, right? To me, what I'm recognizing right now from this conversation, reflecting on my own life, which now makes me aware I'm actually on a downtrend, right, is I haven't stopped to ask myself, where am I? And I think that so many people also do the same, right? So how do we get a point? How do we always get to go back to the up point? How do we do that and kind of sort of keep that a constant in our life?
So again, there are three patterns that we can always, that can help us to rise, okay? Because it's not about falling. Every human being gets down. We go down as long as we are on this planet. We get there. But that's not the issue. The issue is getting up. And so getting up, again, you talked about the mind. The mind has got patterns, and you want to ask yourself, okay, what can I focus on right now for me to get up? What can I focus on right now for me? Because the down is not an identity. I know we say I am and then say down. And anything you put after I am is an identity description. You're saying this is who I am. But it's not an identity. It's just a situation, and it's a challenge. It's a problem. And a strong mind is not one that thinks that it should not have problems. In fact, if you're going before God to pray, Lord, don't send me problems, you are living, in an impossible dream. It's not possible. Problems are part of life, and they are going to come. Challenges will come. A strong mind is one that accepts challenges and faces them head on. So, in fact, I tell people, I was telling people in a retreat that we are doing here in Malindi that one of our biggest problems is that our problems are too small. We are
elaborate.
Our problems are too small because you realize someone is worried about, how do I look? What did he say about me? What did he do? What did she do? That is what I call a small problem. In a generation where we are talking about food crisis, people are dying for lack of food, you're thinking about someone saying something about you, my friend, that's a small problem. We're talking about how can I change this world? And so I realize with some of my clients, when they get bigger problems, the smaller ones actually disappear. Okay, the small problems are like, okay, it's no longer, and it's a human condition because Mary, if I come and, by mistake, cut your nail, okay, by mistake, cut your nail, you hate me. You're like, how dare you? How could you do that? But if someone else comes and cuts off the finger, you forget me.
Yeah.
The problem is, but someone else comes, cut your hand, you focus on that. The thing is, we are focusing on small problems, like esteem problems, and the moment our problems are bigger, we will forget about those problems. So what do I do with my clients in terms of what I've just described as, small problems, big problems, is I tend to point my clients towards their purpose and make that a new problem. Like your life purpose now, be so focused on that problem, totally sorted out, connect that with your highest intention. You're not going to talk about depression. And I realized, by the way, the moment I start giving, the moment I start making a contribution on the planet, my depression disappears. Depression disappears. I'm no longer thinking about me. I'm here as a channel, healing the world. What can I give? Not what can I receive. So and it's a change of mindset, Mary. I'm moving from focusing on me to focusing on, okay, what contribution can I make on the planet? How can I give? Like right now, we are making a contribution with you, Mary. This is part of healing. Do you know that? When we make a contribution to the world, we also heal. Because again, it's not about perfection. We are here for one another. It's about humanity. And as you give, you are actually healing. And that's why most of us, we talk about more passionately on areas where we need to heal the most. So don't hear me talking so passionately about mindset and think mine is the perfect one. No.
Yeah. And I think and I think I want to now kind of sort of close that loop, right? We've talked about life in zero limits. We've talked about decision. We've talked about how to find help, how to connect that. And right now you've touched a little bit on purpose, right? Because as people heal, as people try to break and step into life with zero limits, it's finding the purpose. Jeff, you'll be so surprised. Even there are people who are 60 and up to all that time, they've never gotten a chance to discover their purpose or understand what it is. So I want to close off by really just stepping in a little bit into purpose, because it ties directly to living life with zero limits and, helping us using those down moments, right? How can we help our listeners step into their purpose? Where does that start from, and how can they connect into that?
Yes. So again, finding your purpose is not something that is outside of you. It's actually within you. And that awareness is crucial for you to know it's not something you are going to look for. It's actually inside of you. But there are processes, techniques, and strategies that help you go within. Because we have not found our purpose because we are stuck in our, mind, which jumps from one thing to another and distracts us so much that our entire life, we never really focus on something that matters. And so we are stuck in our head. And so one thing that a professional will do is just to slow you down a little bit so you can flow with the rhythm of life. Because purpose is in the rhythm of life. Purpose is in the rhythm of life. Purpose is in the rhythm of life. But then we are running so fast in our head and under the influence of fear that we are running and overtaking our purpose. When you slow down, and there are techniques and strategies that just help you to slow down and flow with that rhythm, to find your rhythm, find your purpose. What is your highest intention? And it will surprise you that our deepest wounds are actually gateways to our purpose.
Pain. That's a good one.
Yeah. Pain actually is not really such a bad thing. Pain comes as an indicator for where you need to go. It's a cry for help. And I've worked with so many people, I'm telling you, countless people that brought their wounds to my sessions, and we realized that is their biggest gift. What you thought was bringing shame and death and all this was actually God's way of telling you, I'm calling you to this specific place. This is your healing. People, look, study anyone in any field. You realize all these healers, they are the most sick people. They have gone through all manner of challenges with their health. All these relationship help help and coaches and life workers, they have had the worst of relationships. And so it's to look at your life. Now we go back to awareness and look at your life, and you're going to see that the universe has been whispering to you your direction, your true north. And because it's coming through pain, you don't want to look that place. You don't want to look there because of fear. You don't want, but you turn it around and face it. You find that your pain leads to your highest intention. By the way, do you know that, Mary, there is no pain without a purpose? There's no pain without the other side. I know when we are going through it, Mary, we don't see any purpose. We don't until we heal. But like Steve Jobs said, you will always connect the dots looking backwards. When you look back, you say, I mean, Mary, right now, when you look at your life and look back, right now, when you look back, you will see so much sense into why whatever happened had to happen. When I look back at my life, I was sick for 11 years. 11 years, no connection, no relationships. It's just sickness, and you are a child. And I went through, that was, my childhood trauma, is to be, disconnected from society and be unwell for so long. But you see, that in itself, that trauma led me to be someone that hears people to levels that other people will not reach. Because I've had 11 years of silence, of listening, of hear. I'm telling you. And so I can go to the depths and layers and really find that place where we need to go. And so what was coming is pain, and something that would have killed me, it becomes a blessing that Mary, there's no school I can learn that. I know I've been to leadership schools, I've done masters in leadership, I've done strategic intervention, highest level. I'm telling you, there's no school on the planet that can teach what I learned through that pain. And we come to that place when we can accept that God is guiding me, and there's nothing that I will ever experience that will ever come my way that doesn't have a purpose. And once I live my life that way, I always welcome, and I always live in a state and mindset of gratitude. Everything I say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for this. Thank you for this. How can I help you? Thank you for this. Thank you. I'm not living in resistance, because when you live in the perspective of I don't want pain, then you resist life, and you sort of just get closed down. And I was telling people, life moves on without you. That moment you close the door, life just keeps on moving on. And it doesn't wait for our procrastination. It doesn't wait for our excuses. And so the thing is, just getting to that place of gratitude. I am so happy and grateful, finding good in everything, including pain, delays, denials, rejection, disappointments. Can you find good in everything? Lord, give me the wisdom to find good in everything. And the healing to actually see. I think it's the serenity prayer. There's a prayer called the serenity prayer. Lord, give me the serenity and the wisdom, to find, I may not have the right words, what I can change and what I cannot change. And that heart of gratitude to know the difference. I mean, if we live from that place, I mean, I listen to people, one of Oprah Winfrey, amazing soul, someone that has gone through so much and gone to the other side now to give to the world. Tony Robbins, who's gone through so much, had, this traumatized mother who was, even chased him with a knife, became overweight and almost written off by society, and then one day make a decision and becomes one of the top coaches on the planet. He is not special. I am not special. We are not special. It's about humanity. We are all the same. We have the same human needs. But the decisions we make decide where we are going to end tomorrow. Yeah. You're muted, Mary. Sorry.
I said, oh wow. I was like, oh my goodness, what insight, what wisdom, what knowledge you have shared with us today. Before I recap our conversation, any last words that you would like to share as we think through living life in zero limits, as we think through confronting our present day to step into our purpose? Any final words for us?
Yes, Mary. So the power is in your hands. The power is in our hands. And change does not have to take forever. Change takes a moment. Breakthrough is a moment when that thing that you think is going to kill you becomes something else, that you get the aha of that moment. You're like, oh my, wow. Oh, that's why I went through this. But it comes by taking a certain mindset, the mindset of expectation, the mindset of being open. This universe is working for you. Life is not against you. This life is not here to kill you and mess you and make sure you got the worst of experiences. No, everything is working for your good. You are loving and you are a lovely person. You're deserving of the good of this universe. This life is lived once, and once is enough when we live it well. And this moment right here is everything that we have. If we can step into every present moment with gratitude, with a sense of that awareness and awakening that I'm not seeking perfection, I just want to seek my highest good in every moment, then life would definitely support us. And so that's my wish for everyone listening. God bless you. And I'm sure, there are many coaches watching this right now, because this is shared on our platform of coaches online. I just want to say this to you as our coach. I mean, the destiny you're creating and getting into this business of coaching it will be determined by the person you become. Like within you, that person, that identity that you design, is that person you become would not be designed by your mother, will not be designed by society, will not be designed by even your enemies. It will be designed by you. It will be designed by you, and you are in charge of that destiny. And so as a coach, as a leader, as a mentor, as a therapist, as someone that works with people, just allow me to, speak to you and encourage you to always take that charge of your mindset and release. Okay, you're not carrying things on your shoulders, because this is a race and we want to travel light. So in that way, you attract the clients, that are in alignment with the person you are. You attract the business that is in alignment with the person that you are.
Who you are.
So all the best.
Amazing.
Blessings to you. And let me hear your comments also down there on the video, so we can know what are your thoughts on our discussions. Thank you so much. Back to you, Mary.
Thank you so much, Jeff. And it's funny, I want to highlight a couple of nuggets that really stick out to me that I want to emphasize for perhaps anyone who is in the same point of life where I am right now, right? I think something that stood out with me is clarity is a starting point for change, right? Like, and really visualizing who you want to become and grounding yourself on that, and really using that as an anchor to reflect on where you are today versus that person, right? And I think you've just reminded us very clearly about our purpose, and really having that purpose and serving will also help us in those down moments. I think it's been great that you've reminded us as well that our purpose is within us. It's not out of us, right? Because sometimes you think, oh yeah, it's out of us. It's like slowing down, flowing with the rhythm of life, right? And living life with a zero limit starts from seeking professional help, getting the actions and making a decision to step into it. So I think that's kind of sort of like the nuggets that have really stood out for me today. And I just wanted to recap that in case we want to make it top of mind for anyone else. Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you for this session, and we appreciate you, and God bless you.